Hi, I'm Ryan Carrier of Cyber Triage, and this video is part of our Intro to Cyber Triage Lite series, where we talk about using our free DFIR collection and review tool. You can download Cyber Triage from cybertriage.com. In this video, we'll talk about launching the collection tool from a USB drive or network share and having the results sent back to Cyber Triage over the network. If you want to save the results back to USB, then refer back to our previous video on USB-based collection. There's other videos in this series that talk about importing memory and disk images. The most common use case from launching from USB and sending over the network is when the response team doesn't have admin access on the endpoints. This can occur for an internal SOC where they rely on IT staff to run the collection tools, or consultants who are on site but don't have the admin passwords. In both situations, someone with admin credentials will launch the collection tool using a command prompt or UI and have the data sent encrypted over port 443 back into Cyber Triage. Now with the paid version of Cyber Triage, you can launch the collection tool from the application entirely over the network, but that requires the admin password to initiate that process. So let's look into the 3 steps in this process. First, in the main Cyber Triage application, someone needs to initiate the process to create the database and open port 443, because by default that port isn't listening. Second, the collection tool will get launched on the target suspect system, and it will know to reach back and connect into Cyber Triage and send data. And then third, back in the Cyber Triage application, you can review data as it comes back in. So let's go through each of these steps in more detail using the actual applications. When you launch the Cyber Triage application, you'll get an interface such as this. First, make sure you have the collection tool. As we discussed in other videos, you can get that from the collection tool button below. Once you have that, you need to make the incident to store the host into. So choose New Incident. Then choose Add New Host. You'll then be shown the options for adding data into Cyber Triage. We're going to use Live Manual. Other videos cover the other methods. You'll be prompted for the host name that will be initiating the connection. It will then give you a panel about choosing malware scanning features, which are not enabled in the Lite version. In the paid version, you can use 40+ malware scanning engines to get a broad coverage of opinions about if files are good or bad. After pressing Start Collection, you will then be presented with a panel that tells you what info to plug into the collection tool and will wait until the connection is made. You can see the host name and port here. That's step 1. We now have the application waiting for the connection from the collection tool. Now let's move over to the computer that needs to be analyzed. Like in the previous video, you have 2 methods to launch the collection tool. The first option is to launch Cyber Triage GUI, which is the UI wrapper around the collection tool. After you launch that, select Remote Server as the destination on the left, and the host name should be pre-filled based on the computer where the collection tool was extracted from. You can override it otherwise. You can then choose what data types you want to collect and then press Start. Or, if you prefer command prompts or are trying to script this, you can run the Cyber Triage CLI program and supply the host name as an argument with --server. If you change the port number from 443 in the options panel of the Cyber Triage application, you'll also need to specify the port with --port. Now back on the Cyber Triage computer, once that connection is made from the collection tool, the UI will change to show the data that's coming in and give you a dashboard with all the various data types that came in from the collection. That's it for this video. There are other videos in this series that cover other ways of getting data into Cyber Triage, and we'll soon be adding ones that cover the review and reporting phases. Subscribe to this channel for updates and more videos. You can download Cyber Triage from cybertriage.com. Thanks.